So, at the school here, I honestly had no idea that you could even go to school until people told me that it was a thing that you could do. So, gosh dang you, had people not told me it's a thing that I could do, I would have straight up never done this. And even with people telling me that I could do this, had I not been a content creator, I probably wouldn't do it anyway, because I just wouldn't have the motivation to do so. But we may as well see what's going on here, because you can apparently do classes. What do I want to do? I'm good at math, like math with Miss Time. Sure, let's do that. And yes, indeed, we still have some things to do. Class will begin shortly. Don't be tardy. Man, like school. So let's see how the heck this works and stuff. Let's see what's going on here. Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Time, and I will be your math teacher. Sorry I put you all on the spot at the start of class, but let me ask you a quick question. Do you enjoy numbers, arithmetic, and the like? Sometimes. Yeah, sort of. Oh my, thank you for your honest responses. Some of you may like numbers, and some may not. I think that makes a wonderful mix. But no matter your opinion on math, I hope you find yourselves enjoying our lessons together. I'll do my best to find a good way to match up your interests with all types of math lessons. Speaking of which, are you all caught up on your studies of Pokemon type matchups? What does that have to do with math? For example, grass strong against water and water strong against fire, correct? Both Ash's Pokemon are water types, and they're totally weak against fire types. Ramona, you seem to be good with Pokemon, so let me ask you this. Bearing in mind that water is strong against fire, if the move water gun hits a fire type Pokemon, then what becomes of the move damage? It's doubled is a thing. I might have mentioned it earlier this playthrough, but one of the things that's always bugged me about Pokemon is that grass types are called grass types and not plant types. That's right, I can count on you for this question, Harmonia. As a moves of a type that your opponent is weak to is a super effective tactic that multiplies the damage of those moves by 2. On the other hand, using moves of a type that your opponent is resistant to isn't very effective. Divides the damage of your moves by 2. I don't mean to encroach on Miss Dendra's battle size territory, of course, but I thought it's best to use a lively topic as an example. That's me writing like the video essay for this game where it's like, this applies to gameplay, but it also kind of applies to like the visuals. We'll talk about things like Pokemon in the world, where it's like, where do I properly talk about this? I can make math fun even for those who don't much like the subject, don't you think? But yeah, nature type, that makes more sense. Oh my, is that the bell? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I hope you're looking forward to it too. Alright. That's it then. Wow. That was a great class. Oh, look, there's my elevation getting corrected again. Good evening, Master Harmonia. What class would you like to take? Math again, I guess. Math this time. Yeah, sure. Gengar's pretty happy about it. This will begin soon. Don't be tardy. Okay. I sure won't be. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna make it just in time. Good thing just in time is however long the loading screen takes. Hello everyone, let's have a fun class today. Tell me, do you all enjoy shopping? Buying tasty bread or choosing new clothes? Even just window shopping is so much fun. In today's class, I'd like to use shopping, one of my own favorite hobbies, mind you, to teach you all about math. I'm sure everyone here has visited Pokemon at least once. They sell all sorts of Pokemon items. Are you just gonna quiz me on prices? Pokeballs are one of the many useful items you can find. They cost 200 Poke each. Now then, like y'all, do some thinking with me here. One Pokeball is 200 Poke. If you had 2,000 Pokeball and bought as many Pokeballs as you could afford, how many would you receive? It's some big mystery. Speaking of basic math, in the gameplay chapter, I once again use basic math to compute like how much space this game would take up if it had every single Pokemon in it, and all of the current space for Scarlet and Violet is used on Pokemon alone. Assuming that everything that isn't a Pokemon is infinitely small space, and the current data size of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is Pokemon alone. If you included all 1,008 Pokemon, the answer is 15-something gigabytes. I think it was 15.12 is what I calculated. So if they bumped up even to like the next immediate cartridge size, and even if it was some reality where the only thing that takes up space on the cartridge is Pokemon and literally nothing else, they'd still be able to fit every Pokemon on just like the next highest cartridge. But then that begs the question of like, oh, but aren't they doing things new with models? Aren't they making new models? And I don't know if they're making new models or just retexturing old ones. And you know, some of them look better, some of them look like they were hit with like a paint bucket fill tool in Legends Arceus, but if they're making new models, it would beg the question like, oh, couldn't they just like continue to deck out this library of like new models with each game? So I calculate how much space Scarlet and Violet would need if it just included all the Pokemon in Legends Arceus that aren't already in this game. And the answer was like 8.3 gigabytes or something like that, when the current game size is 7 gigabytes. And again, in the possibility where the only thing that takes up space is Pokemon and that's it. So realistically, on the current cartridge data size, these have to be 8 gigabyte cartridges, it would have been possible to put in all the Legends Arceus Pokemon for free. No problemo there. But they don't do it because it sells more subscriptions to Pokemon Home and more other games, you know. And that is reinforced by the fact that literally every single Pokemon in Legends Arceus that got a new form or evolution is included in this game without their new form or evolution. So, you know, there's that. So, you know, what do you receive? Oh gosh dang it. Talking about that made me forget there. It's 10. Wait, bit of a trick question. Because I'm about to say, like, you can afford to purchase a maximum of 10 Pokeballs. However, you purchase 10 or more of any type of Pokeball, you'll also receive one from your You jerk. I forgot it for a hot second because I was talking about math, but I was like, wait, I remember, it's 10. This is super easy peasy. But you trickster. So the correct answer is, in fact, 11. But you asked about Pokeballs, not total types of different types of Pokeballs, because, you know, I don't know. I guess if you count, like, Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls, those are still all just Pokeballs. But just Pokeballs is also just Pokeballs. Maybe they should have a different term for, like, all different types of Pokeballs. And, you know, I don't know. So, there's that. Shows a nice to get a little bonus on that shopping trip, isn't it? Oh my, is that the bell? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I hope you're looking forward to it, too. I'm totally looking forward to it. But yeah, a Switch could definitely easily handle it there. But yeah, also bugs are part of nature, so Temtem doesn't need a dedicated bug type. Same with rock and ground, it's all earth, huh? Interesting. News to me. I've had a lot of people tune into my Pokemon essays that have asked me, like, oh, would you ever play Temtem on your channel? And the answer is, like, I've thought about it, but probably not. Like, the thought has crossed my head, but probably not. Probably just play, like, more other video games. Like, if I'm not getting my fun with Pokemon, if I'm not getting my video game fix from these games, I typically just play like other video games as we do on this channel. When yourself with Scarlet Violet having a smaller file size in Sword and Shield is another symptom of the in-game world not being fleshed out adequately, or if Game Freak actually improved its data compression programming in recent years. I mean, when you look at things like textures around the world, they feel a lot more simple than you would have seen in a maybe not like the textures per se, but just like the lighting of the world and the general look of it. It feels like it was slapped together quicker and not as high of quality, especially considering you look at like a mountain or something and it's just gonna be the same super basic repeated texture all over the place. Like, I'm sure stuff like that helped to, you know, the data size not get all that big when they do it en masse across the whole world, you know. So, fun class today. Tell me, do you enjoy fortune telling, horoscopes and the like? No. I think it feels great to read your horoscope and see that it says good luck is coming your way. Yeah, that's how they make it profitable. It's because people feel good by hearing it. And it's something that they want to hear. So today I'd like to teach you all math while focusing on the topic of luck. Perhaps you've seen the following phrase crop up during Pokemon battles before. A critical hit. When a Pokemon's attack lands as a critical hit, the damage it deals is increased by half. In other words, it does 1.5 times as much damage as it normally would. It used to be 2 times, but I forget what generation it was that changed it. It is truly luck that determines whether your Pokemon lands a critical hit, or one has landed on it. This can cause a great upset in battle. It's not always luck. My flower trick always critical hits. Does anyone know what percentage chance a Pokemon has of landing a critical hit? These probably seem too low. I actually don't know it, but I would assume this. Oh my, that might cause a bit too critical of a situation, Harmonia. Okay, that's too high, so it's 4% then. So it'd be about 1 in 24, which is roughly 4.17%. Okay. I guess now thinking about it, yeah, what I said there probably would mean that crits would be happening more often. Odds are more favorable for certain moves, though. Why moves such as Stone Edge and Shadow Claw have about a 12% chance. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. You can also use a move called Focus Energy or an item known as Dire Hit. Both raise the critical hit ratio by 2 stages. That's a 50% chance of landing a critical hit, unless this is Generation 1. Feels great to land a critical hit, but perhaps not so great to be struck by one. There's a surprising amount of mathematical probability hidden in Pokemon battles, you know. Yep. If you're able to do calculations that'll swing luck in your favor, it may open doors for more strategic choices for you during battle. I mean, I don't like banking on luck for whether I'm gonna win or not. Oh my, is that the bell? I wonder would that... Wait, I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. The class will be our fun midterm exam. I hope you all be looking forward to it. Oh, sweet. But I didn't study. Alright, let's go do midterms, I guess. Let's do it. Hi. Good evening, Master Harmonia. What class would you like to take? Math midterm. Like math at this time? Sure. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. I won't. It would be nice if it gave you a prompt. Do you just want to do like the next level right now instead of loading screen back out? Select to go back in. Loading screen back in, you know. If you were trying to go through all them. Alright, everyone. It's time to begin our midterm exam. It'll just be a nice quality of life thing, you know. I'm sure the fun experiences you all had in my class will serve you well as you answer. I had so many fun experiences. How much damage does Water Gun do when it hits a fire-type Pokemon? Do I have to press A? Oh, I have to... Oh. So I don't select the ones on the page. They have another separate UI to do that. Why? Why can't I just select from the page? This seems like more effort than is necessary. Just have the selection thing be over the page. How much damage does Razor Leaf do when it hits a fire-type Pokemon? Half damage. We spend that, how many would you get? Fine, 11. Not gonna trick me this time. What percent chance does a Pokemon usually have to land a critical hit? About 4%. How much damage does a move deal when it lands a critical hit? 1.5 times as much. Bam! But yeah, so there's that. Alright everyone, time is up. Put your hands on your laps now. You're all concentrating so hard, I can't wait to see how you did. I wish you luck with that there. Do go and ask for your scores at the front desk and take a nice break. Oh yeah, I totally will. Just you wait here. Alright, so... how did I do? It feels great to get a test out of the way, doesn't it? Let's take a look at your results. Must get 3 questions correct to pass the midterm exams and 4 questions correct to pass the final exams. See how we did in our math test. It's a 505 questions correctly. To pass the score, congratulations. Miss Time asked us to give this reward to any students who pass the exam. Wow, sounds like bribery to do well in class. No, I don't know. Keep doing your best. I once had a German teacher that said that he was going to buy the whole class donaires if we if we did particularly well on a certain test, and we did, and he bought the whole class donaires. He was a really nice guy. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. And it was like a pretty basic thing in German. This was like grade 11 or grade 12, and the teacher was really stunned to hear that we didn't have this one like super basic chart memorized for word endings and stuff. So he was like, alright, if like 80, I forget if it was 80% or 90% of the class gets like 90% or more on this test, the test literally just being filling out this chart of like all the different endings, then we'll get the whole class donaires, and he got the whole class donaires. Everyone, well done on the midterm exam. Some of you are in perfect scores, and others seem to have a bit of trouble, but I can tell that you all tried your best. Quite pleased to say that every last one of you passed. I can only assume that this means you have all come to love numbers. Stay sharp and try your best for the rest of my classes too. Speaking of staying sharp, do you know how that word applies to Pokemon battles? No. That's right, it has to do with stat boosts. Oh, sharply raised, I guess. Pokemon stats can rise and fall throughout the course of battle, correct? For example, if Pokemon uses the move Work Up, its attack and special attack stats will rise by 1 stage each. As you may know, each time a Pokemon's attack or special attack rises 1 stage, who's affected by that stat will deal 50% more damage. That same Pokemon from our previous example where you use Work Up again, both its attack and special attack will rise by 2 stages total. This results in a 100% increase in damage dealt, like its moves twice as strong. Swords Dance, on the other hand, boosts attack by 2 stages at once, allowing the Pokemon to deal double damage after just a single use. Using Swords Dance twice would boost the Pokemon's attack stat by 4 stages. How much damage then would this Pokemon deal? Would it be 3 times or 4 times? I actually don't know. I would think triple, right? Wow, that's great. You answered this difficult question with ease, Harmonia. Each stage that a Pokemon's attack or special attack stat increases the damage by 50%. Okay. So yeah, it's just like an additional 50% each time. In that case, it doesn't keep on going crazier, which makes sense. So being raised by 4 stages would result in 4 times 50% or 200% damage increase. The max is 6 stages. Base damage for our move is 100%, so adding 200% to that gives us 300%. In other words, the next move a Pokemon uses will deal triple damage. Type matchups, critical hit damage, and other factors all play into these calculations as well, so even a small boost must be taken seriously. By the way, if that stat simply rose, that means it has gone up by 1 stage. If it rose sharply, that's 2 stages. If it rose drastically, that's 3 stages. Just so you know, the X attack and X special attack items, which can only be used in battle, are used to sharply boost those respective stats. Oh my, is that the battle? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. Today's lesson was a little difficult, so be sure to review what you just learned in order to stay sharp. I'll see you all again in the next class. this is actually a not half bad way to teach, like, the intricacies of gameplay that the game otherwise would never tell you, and, you know, it would be pretty silly to have mandatory tutorials explaining stuff like this. So it is a good way to, like, express that information, but it's just not fun. You know, is okay. Stat buffs and debuffs in Temtem don't reset after a swap, making buff slash debuffs way more valuable. Huh. Intriguing. I remember using stat buff swapping with Baton Pass to make a Magikarp sweeping team in the Gen 6 days in Oraz. Hello everyone, let's have a fun class today. Make sure to review last class of material in order to stay sharp. I know it was a little difficult with all that talk of multiplication and percentages and the like, but today we'll be talking about percentages again to learn the probability. Essentially, it was a Ninjask Smeargle Magikarp setup. Oh boy, was it schnasty. May sound like we're going to have another difficult class, but did you know that all of you already deal with probability on a regular basis? Yeah, we do. But if you are a big journalist that's you know, publishing an article or a video on things like shiny odds, as we learned in the Legends Arceus video essay, you probably don't know how probabilities work despite using it on a regular basis. Pokemon moves generally have a probability called accuracy, which determines the probability that they will hit. Accuracy of tackle is 100 or 100%. So if you use tackle 100 times, you can expect it to hit all 100 times, unless you're playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Move Hypnosis, which puts opponent to sleep, has an accuracy of 60 or 60%. That means you could expect it to hit 60 times in 100 uses. But another way, out of 100 uses, you could expect it to miss 40 times, roughly. Roughly around that time. It's not like it's gonna, you know, 100% sure result in that, like, actual experimental probability, you know. Also, when it comes to accuracy in Legends Arceus, one of the most frequent comments that I get on the Legends Arceus video essay in terms of people, like, quote-unquote correcting me, is telling me that, like, oh, accuracy works in this game just fine, you just missed because it was foggy weather. Yeah, that was one clip. There's like 2 other clips in that video essay where there was perfectly clear weather, and I missed 100% accuracy. To be fair, I had no idea there was foggy weather in the one clip, so, like, I did use that as, like, the example of accuracy being pretty busted in that game. But that was, like, none of those moves that were used at that point were even 100% accuracy moves during foggy weather. It was 95s and 80, I believe, with a Thunderfang and Hydro Pump. Missing 3 times and 2 times respectively was the case. There were clips that I used for missing, like, actual 100% accuracy moves. And they miss, and the weather is perfectly clear. And yet, I still get comments, people being like, you're just dumb! It's foggy weather! The accuracy works just fine! No, it doesn't. I want to hear it. Many of the truly powerful moves often tend to have lower accuracy. So when you're deciding whether to go slow or stay with moves that are sure to hit or hard and fast with stronger but less accurate moves, you're alright studying probability. Let me see here. Perhaps Surf and Hydro Pump would be good examples for this discussion. What about Focus Miss? Surf has the power of 90. Its accuracy is 100, meaning you can expect it to hit every time. Again, unless you're playing Legends Arceus. Luckily, at least accuracy seems to work in this game. Except for things like, you know, me using Play Rough, which is a 90% accuracy move. And it'll just miss, like, what feels like close to half the time. But that's just how Pokemon goes. That's nothing about this game. And that's probably just, I don't know if it's a fallacy per se, but it's probably just like the human tendency to focus on, you know, the negative outcomes rather than all the times that didn't work. Focusing on all the times that it misses. So, you know, he's saying that, you know, Play Rough sure doesn't feel like 90% accuracy. It's probably just like, you know, a misunderstanding here, but that's the way that it feels. Whether you're playing Pokemon or Fire Emblem Fates, you're gonna get screwed by accuracy. Or maybe a better Fire Emblem example would be Fire Emblem 6 from what I hear about that game, but I haven't played that one myself yet, so, you know, once we eventually play it on the channel, maybe I'll be able to use a Fire Emblem 6 as a ludicrous example of accuracies. Hydro Pump's accuracy is only 80, but when it hits its power is 110. So between Surf and Hydro Pump, which would you want to use yourselves? Yeah, it depends on the situation. I swear, the accuracy of Fire Emblem Fates is, like, so cursed. My IC are always considering various possibilities of harmony. I can't wait to play Fire Emblem Engage and then start the playthrough of Fire Emblem Fates Conquest Lunatic Classic. I've been hyped for that for, like, the past year now. May sound like there's a correct answer here, but there's not. You're free to use any moves you wish. Factors like PP or number of targets hit may make some moves more suited to certain situations. However, trading accuracy for power or vice versa is purely a matter of preference. Yeah, I don't like lower accuracy things in Pokemon games, or in Fire Emblem Fates, because whether it's Pokemon or Fates, it feels like if it's not 100%, it's 50%. That's how it works. This surfer's hydro pump debate has been ongoing for quite some time. It's like the chicken or the egg. Everyone's just always debating it, Noah. Personally, I'm more invested in debating the rock-type moves, Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Let me tell you, I could get really worked up talking about these moves, but oh my, there's the bell, what a shame. Next class will be the last of our time together, so I'm 100% ready to go. Pokemon Gale of Darkness teaches many of Generation 3's battle mechanics using battle simulation CDs. Those are more fun to play by comparison, huh? Maybe it'd be, like, I'm not going to start, like, the playthrough of XD Gale of Darkness before, like, the Scarlet Violet video essay is finished up. I'm surprised that we even, you know, ended up starting Coliseum when we did. But maybe it's worth looking up the battle CDs on YouTube and seeing what's going on with that, in case I want to use it as, like, an example there. Because now I'm intrigued by that. Like, math with Miss Time? Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll send myself, like, a message to remind myself. Actually, if I send it in the Discord server, I'm not going to remember. Let's send... No, wait, I already have a freaking text reminder. So I can't overwrite the current one. I already texted to remind myself about, like, the upcoming Fragapalooza meeting. Gosh dang it. I'm just going to remind myself like this anyway. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to write down Pokemon Gale of Darkness simulation CDs to remind myself to look that up later. This will begin soon, don't be tardy. Because, yeah, while we might get through Coliseum by the time that, you know, the Scarlet Violet video essay is done, I don't want to immediately start XD Gale of Darkness. We'll do it one day, but, you know, it's already going ham enough that we started Coliseum while this is still technically ongoing. Even though we're just wrapping up last little smidges, you know. Everyone, I hope we can have fun once again today for our last class together. Last time we learned about probability using move accuracy as an example. We should use shiny odds. You should bring up my my Pokemon Legends Arceus video essay as reference material. Probability is quite an interesting subject. Did you know in a class with 40 students, there's a 90% chance that 2 of them will have the same birthday? I did, actually. This is true despite even the fact there are over 300 days in each year. Isn't that remarkable? Yeah, that's pretty neat. Let's move on to today's topic before we get swept along with probability again. But teaching you all how to calculate damage in this class using examples like type matchups, critical hit, stat boosts, and the like. All these variables are multiplied together to calculate damage dealt to an opponent. However, did you know that there's an even simpler way to increase the damage of your Pokemon's moves? Yeah, level up. All you have to do is have your Pokemon use a move it shares a type with. Oh, stab, yeah. If a Rock-type Pokemon uses the Rock-type move Stone Edge, that move's base power of 100 is multiplied by 1.5 to become 150. Ground and Rock may seem like similar types, but if a Ground-type Pokemon uses Stone Edge, the move's power will remain 100. Super effective moves and critical hits also add multipliers onto this little numerical increase, so it is most certainly not to be taken lightly. I'm going to ask you a question to see if I understand what I'm talking about here. Say you have a move with the power of 100. If a Pokemon that shares a type with this move uses it and hits an opponent that is weak to that type, what happens to that move power? Wait, say like the move power, this doesn't have to do with like the damage. She said that it like matched the type of the one using it, right? So it's stab. Plus by 150 would only take into account the multiplier of 1.5. Oh. You were just asking about the move's power, not how much damage it dealt. I thought that she was trying to trip me up again. First using a move that shares a type with its user multiplies the move's power of 100 by 1.5, making the power 150. Okay, and then 300. Fine. Back to the opponent's weak to the move's type, then doubles the power from 150 to 300. Additional power of the move ends up being tripled. Isn't it amazing? What's more, if a Pokemon's terrestrialized and its Terra type matches one of its original types, then the bonus it gets for using a move that same type increases from 1.5 to 2. Of course, being able to use a lot of moves with different types is great as well. That's one way you can surprise your opponent. At the end, your own innate characteristics are what will really let you shine the most. Bear in mind, this is true for both humans and Pokemon. It would make me happy if you could take those words to heart. But I suppose I should have really shared this basic advice right from our first lesson. My apologies. Just like that crossover, last of our time together flew by in the blink of an eye. It was so fun to be able to teach you all eager students about numbers. Wow! Next class will be your final exam. Be sure to review material well in preparation. I thought she was trying to debate me again. What I honestly thought. Nope. Not the case. Didn't seem to be the case. Alright, well. We'll do the final exam, I guess. Alright, Master Harmony, what class would you like to take? Math final. Like, math with Miss Time. Yep. We're doing that. We have Psyduck here rather than Gengar. That was the case like the previous couple times, but I'm only like truly noticing right now. It seems like, alright. Give me those numbers and stuff. Alright, everyone, it's time to begin our final exam. I'm sure the fun experiences you all had in my class will serve you well as you answer. How many Great Balls could you purchase with 3,000 Poké if each one costs 600? Okay. And this time, you know, this is Great Balls, not Pokeballs and stuff. Though we're not gonna factor in, you know, we're not exactly gonna factor in Premier Balls or anything like that. So that's just 30 divided by 6, which is 5. If a Water-type move with a power of 100 lands a critical hit on a Grass-type Pokemon, what will the move's power be? And crits in the... So wait, does it matter what order the things are done in? Probably doesn't. So, like, it's gonna be, like, plus 50 there, but then, you know, minus, like, it's gonna be half. It's a thing, so, like, 75. I guess under normal conditions, what % chance does Stone Edge have to land a critical hit? It's the higher one, right? Pokemon uses Sword Dance, twice a boosted attack by 4 stages. How much damage will physical moves then do? Triple damage. Rock-type Pokemon whose Terra type is Rock terrestrializes, what will the power of its Rock-type moves be multiplied by? 2. Alright, everyone, time is up. Put your hands on your laps now. This test was a culmination of all I taught you. I'm sure you all did just fine. Do go and ask for your scores at the front desk and take a nice break. Oh, yeah. I'll do that. Just you wait. I'm gonna do it real good. Alright, well, it feels great to get a test out of the way, doesn't it? Let's take a look at your results. I kind of wish the in-class music was a bit different. We've been listening to this theme on loop for a good while now. Also, is that your twin sister, like, right next to you? Is this, once again, the issue of, like, very little NPC variety? So you got 3 questions correct to pass the midterms, yada yada, and let's see how you do on math test. Answered 5 out of 5 questions correctly. It's passing a score, congratulations. This time I asked us to give this reward to any students who passed the exam. 5 EXP candy exam. Okay. I thought I heard that there was, like, side quests that you could get from teachers at the school. Have I been lied to? Is it just if I, like, go around to... Oh, my goodness. If I just go to places or something or other? Okay, let's see what this is about. Let's find out here.